Peace. Guys, what's happening? I just got back to the office. I just had to drop off some receipts. And guys, I was actually supposed to be in the Poconos this afternoon, but I mean, when duty calls, guys, you gotta answer the phone. I got a driving cleaning to do tomorrow. I had a customer call me back over the weekend for that, and I got another call I gotta do. I think this one is actually a no heat call I gotta do on Tuesday. It's either Monday or Tuesday, but guys, like I said, I had to put a couple jobs on the schedule, but surprisingly, I know Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is going to be the hottest days of next week. Either Tuesday or Wednesday is going to be like almost 80, but this customer called yesterday, and she said that I had to call her back. She left a voicemail yesterday, and she said that what did she say? I think she said she had someone come out to replace the circuit board, and supposedly it's still not working. She tried to get in contact with the guy that put the circuit board in, and so I don't know, something must have went haywire. But nonetheless, I told her we'll definitely take a look at it. But you guys will see that once I shoot out there next week. Make sure I got it. Guys, you know another thing I gotta do? I gotta change the rubbers in my hoses. I'm pretty sure you guys already know what I'm talking about, but I mean, you're supposed to change the rubber gaskets in your hoses. Depends on how often you use your gauges. Like if you have more than one pair of gauges, you don't really have to do it as often. But with my manifold is brand new, but my hoses, I had those now for a while. I can't even tell you the last time I replaced the rubber gaskets, but unfortunately, guys, like I said, with those gaskets, I'll probably make a video at some point this year or whenever I do it. But with those rubber gaskets and the hose in your refrigerant hoses, if you don't replace them and they shrivel up, that could cause your manifold not to sense refrigerant pressure. So that's best to do it now versus you being on a no AC call or you being on an install, and as soon as you hook them up, you can't read anything, and now you're scrambling around to go to a supply house to get everything. And like I said, guys, I've been there and done that before. That's why I was telling someone this last week. Whenever it slows down, now's the time to like look over all the small things that you typically couldn't do when you're ripping and running. That's why, like I said, you're not gonna have too many slow days. Depends on, like I said, what type of work you're into. But whenever, like I said, you guys get, like I said, a week or two, or if not less, if you get like a day of not running calls, just make sure you clean up whatever you're doing. You know, run your errands, make sure, you know, you're doing something that's going to be beneficial whenever it heats up. And with me, I like to stay organized, guys. If I'm not organized, then shit kind of goes haywire. But for you guys that's just getting in, I'm just yapping about how I should have been in the Poconos right now. But guys, like I said, I choose money and money chooses me. So that's a very great relationship. So whenever duty calls, guys, you already know I'm going to be in the mix. But guys, like another thing, real quick, I was looking something up the other day. Another thing in regards to, like I said, the weight loss thing, you guys already know that's just part of my lifestyle now. But in regards to like the weight loss thing, you know, one of my favorite, I'm not even going to call this a cheat meal. You know, I'm going to call this like almonds in general, guys. Like, I don't know what you guys use. Like, for instance, like I told y'all, I do intermittent fasting, but it's not like intentionally. So like, I eat my last meal every day. This is 7 days a week. I eat my last meal before 8 o'clock. So like, usually if I get home from the gym, like around like 7:30, I mean, I don't, like I said, my last meal is relatively small and compared to, you know, everything else I eat throughout the day. So like, it usually takes me about like a half an hour, like I said, to eat my last meal. So like, I'm usually done before 8 o'clock. So like, here's the thing, guys, like, and I mentioned this before, like the cravings, you know, that's human nature. I don't know, like you say, anyone that, especially if you're stuck on a certain amount of calorie intake every day, at some point you're going to have hunger cravings, and like I said, it's going to happen late night or probably throughout the day. But here's what I do, guys. Like this, once again, like what I do works for me is best for you guys. So like I said, look up everything online, and like I said, do your own homework. Just don't assume that, you know, what works for someone is going to work for you. Just always do your own independent study. But guys, like once again, like when it's like 7:30, 8 o'clock, once my last meal is done, I usually go to bed, like I said, depends on how early I got to get up the next morning. I'm usually in the bed by like probably 10:30, 11. So like between 8 o'clock and like 10:30 to 11, if I do get any hunger pains, I got low sodium or low salt almonds that I eat. And like, I think 24 pieces is like 160 calories, but like I rarely eat that much at one time. So like, for instance, like if I eat like maybe 9 or 10 almonds, that's usually enough. That's like a snack if you want to call it, but like that usually fills me up. And guys, like the reason why I'm telling y'all this is like fiber. I mean, assuming you guys are tracking your calories, like protein is needed, like I said, for, you know, muscle repair and muscle building, but fiber is what's going to like help you out. Because like protein, guys, and this is something I knew from doing my own independent study, but like for instance, I'm at almost 200 grams of protein every day. Now that's great, like I said, for, you know, my lifestyle and what I do, but if I just consume protein and like I said, that was the only thing, guys, fiber in general, you know, fiber is what's going to help your gut health, your digestive tract. So like you could, like, and guys, here's the thing, you could get constipated by just consuming that much protein at once. That's why I'm telling y'all, like fiber, you know, you can get it from, like I said, you know, your grains. You know, I get mine from apples and almonds, but everything else is like low carbs and it's high protein. But like I'm telling you guys, like, I mean, I like, knock on wood, I never got constipated because I already knew how many grams of fiber I had to consume every day. And like I think the daily recommended limit is like what, 42 grams. I'm not at 42, but I'm pretty close to it. So it's not like I'm like, I don't consume any fibers at all. But like, you know, 2 apples, give or take, 3 some days on some days, but like most of the time it's usually like 2 apples. And then with the almonds, guys, like I only eat those if I need it. Like I said, if I do get those hunger cravings, you know, I already know, like I said, not to like consume, you know, too many calories. I'm still like at the 18, I see 1890, 1880. I'm still under 1900 calories. But guys, like I said, almonds, you know, the past like 6 months, you know, almonds are they came in clutch. I used to get the no salt almonds, but now like I like the salted almonds. Like I think they have low salt at Giants, but like they got like, guys, like with almonds and like cashews, they got like 80 different types of like almost everything you can find. But like I don't like them plain because like not like shit. I mean, for you guys, I like them. I mean, it is what it is. But like I don't like the no salt cashews or the no salt almonds. Like I do like them salted, but not too salted. So like anytime I see the low sodium or low salt options, like that's usually like what I go for. But yeah, guys, like I said, it's a good feeling, man. I say that to say this. It's a good feeling. You not only knowing that, like I said, you know, what you're doing is going to be beneficial, like health-wise, but once you start to like, you know, self-diagnose and you start to like tweak your formula a little bit, like the shit I was telling you with the almonds, like, you know, it's not really detrimental to, you know, I mean, those 10 or 9 almonds that I'm eating, it's not really, you know, put me in the calorie surplus, but like it's only helping me out. It's helping to reduce my cravings if I had any, and also it's going to help my gut health. It's going to help, you know, it's going to help my body break down, like I said, whatever it needs to, and it's going to help my digestive system. So now I'm not going to get constipated, and then, like I said, for my kidneys, it's going to help out my kidneys, flush out whatever it needs to flush out. So like I'm telling y'all, guys, like I said, you know, I already had, you know, I already mentioned this a million times. I already had my health scares and all that shit, but like, I mean, the more proactive and more stuff you can look up, you know, you'll be surprised at the stuff that you can implement. You know, I'm not saying like, you know, I don't want you guys to reinvent the wheel or do something that you can't be consistent at, but like based on what your current protocols are, you know, assuming that you guys are tracking everything, but based on your current protocols, you know, it's usually like the smaller things that you can implement or tweak that changes everything for you. So like, you know, I was telling you like 2 years ago, I mean, I was off and on 2 years ago, but last year, like 2025, that's when like my systems started to lock into place. But like when I first started, like I said, you know, and I mentioned this a few videos ago, with the weight loss thing, guys, like I tried to stay at 1800 calories and like I was going to bed hungry as hell, but like I was afraid to consume, you know, over a certain amount of calories, because I know, and like I said, guys, like this is like some next level discipline type shit, but like I knew, like I said, if I was at 1800 calories and like I was still hungry, I kind of like, I could have ate more, but like I knew that would take me way longer to lose weight. So like, guys, the amount of calories I'm burning and the amount of calories I'm consuming, I know exactly how much weight I'm gonna lose and how long it's gonna take. But like, I mean, it was definitely a mental hurdle, you know, getting past, you know, the cravings. But now, since I know, you know, calorie for calorie, like I said, what I'm consuming, you know, almonds are a great meal. I mean, that's not the only option. Like I said, there are other ways around it. You know, I'm not really like a dairy addict. I'll say, like, I don't really drink milk. I mean, eggs are like, when the last time I think I had 2 boiled eggs from Wawa like a couple of months ago, but that's not a consistent part of my diet. I get most of my protein from protein powder, and I got chicken breasts that I meal prep, throughout the week. But guys, like 80% of my diet, or 80% of my calories are protein from protein powder. But guys, like eventually, like I said, what I'm doing now, because like I said, I definitely want to lose weight, but I want to try to maintain as much muscle as I possibly can without going into a calorie surplus. But like what I'm going to do is I'm going to, like I said, once I get under or at that 300-pound mark, that's when I'm going to reassess. Like, so I got to get my blood work checked out, and I'm going to, I'm probably going to reinvent the, my diet, because I know based on what I'm doing now, like once I get under a certain weight, it's not going to be a need for me to consume 1,800 calories. I may now, instead of 18, now I can probably go back up to 2,000 calories, or probably 2,100 calories. But guys, like I said, that's a good problem to be in. I just want to make sure the weight is down first, and then like I said, based on the appointment, I'm gonna definitely get, like I said, a dietary person, like I said, just to reconfirm, based on what I was consuming 2 years ago to in the future. I'm pretty sure, like I said, the protein powder stuff. I mean, I'm already spending like fucking $300 like every 2 or 3 weeks, guys, with that protein powder. I know that stuff isn't cheap, but I mean it's doing the job. But I'm definitely looking forward not to consuming that much protein powder, like I said, in the future. But like I said, guys, if it's not broke, I'm definitely not going to fix it. But like I said, guys, I just wanted to get on here and talk with y'all, man, just about everyday stuff. But like I said, summertime is definitely coming up. It's approaching. I mean, I got a feeling. I think next week it's going to cool back down. I think next Friday is going to be it's going to drop back down to like the 40s throughout the day. But I mean, guys, like I said, March is usually like training month. Like a lot of big companies. I mean, this is back when I was, a maintenance tech. Like usually around March or April, right before we start doing maintenances in the summertime. That's usually when like big companies start to send guys to supply houses for like classes. Usually, like I said before, every person goes through it. I'm assuming, like I said, you guys are in a residential game in PA, but ideally, like I said, usually, like I said, in the spring, I want to say between March and April, you will get, like I said, a few days or even a few weeks of downtime. That's usually when, like, big companies and small companies, depends on, like I said, how you guys are operated, but that's usually when you kind of like fine tune your processes. Like I said, you start to retool, and then it's time to, like I said, game plan for how you're going to attack the summer. So like, guys, like I said, I know this summer is definitely going to be a slam dunk. I mean, last summer was pretty good. I mean, and keep in mind, guys, we really didn't have a cold winter last year. So like, I think the weather broke like around April, and I think last April, guys, we already had like almost 90, oh, not 90, it was like at least 80-degree days. It was hot enough for us to start doing AC maintenances, and at that point, I think we even had some no AC calls in April, if I'm not mistaken. So like last summer arrived pretty quickly, but and like I said, it stayed that way until like probably the first or second week of September. So like, this winter was great. Like I said, it was great that we had some snow. We had, like I said, we already had our fair share of no heat calls, but summertime, for you guys that don't know, if you already know, like I said, you already know what to expect. Summertime is just, this is where you make your hay. This is where you got to make your dollars at. So like, the best thing you can do, guys, and I mentioned this earlier, like, is just try to prepare for how you plan on winning. And like I said, once the weather comes, I mean, it's not really going to be a surprise. It's either you're ready for it or not. That's kind of like something I always, I'm talking to my earlier years, like I said, in the business, like, like I said, guys, everybody's perspective is different. I used to worry about, like, damn, like, is it, it's busy right now, it's 100 degrees. What happens when it slows down? But now, guys, like I said, through experience of crashing and burning, like I say, after knowing, making it through summer, making it through winter, making it through, the shoulder seasons, I pretty much already know, like I said, what to expect. And most importantly, you got to know how to prepare, for certain outcomes. So, I mean, like I said, guys, I don't think we're going to have anything, next week, high 70s is good, but I don't think it's going to be like how last year was. We're going to have like damn near 90-degree days before May. But, if that opportunity, or if that weather comes up, and which we have like, crazy hot days before May, I mean, I didn't even look at my my AC inventory. I think I need another jug of 410, and I think, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, guys, I gotta replace the rubber gaskets in my hoses. But besides that, I mean, we're pretty much bring it on. That's that's the mentality that we're on. But what time is it, guys? I got to get up out of here. Easy Pass. I just got an email from Easy Pass, guys. I don't know how. I'm pretty sure most of you guys got Easy Pass, but shit, I think the toll prices just went up. I just got an email notification. They just took like $300 out of my account. But I seen something on. This had been a couple months ago. Some guy, some guy got caught in New York. I'm talking with the Easy Pass thing, and like I'm pretty sure you guys seen this before. What people try to do, they try to finesse the Easy Pass station. What this guy did was he had a string. I'm pretty sure y'all seen this story. I don't know what happened to him, but he basically had a string, and whenever he pulls on the string, his license plate goes up. And like I said, I don't know how many times he did this, but but like I guess they caught on. It was somewhere in New York. I know it was on the East Coast, but like he did that a couple times. But the idiot kept going through the same station with the same thing. Like guys, like I said, with the day and age that we in right now with technology, if you're going to do something crazy, like if you do it in the same place too many times, like what do you expect is going to happen? Eventually, they're going to catch on. But the guy did it once or twice, and like I said, eventually they was looking for him. And like I don't know how they knew when he was going to show up. Maybe they had a schedule, but they had the cops out there waiting for him. And like as soon as he went past, that's how they called him. I'm like, dude, like that was a very ingenious design, pulling the string to cover your license plates. But I'm like, bro, like to do that in the same area, I mean, shit, what do you expect is going to happen, But yeah, guys, like I said, Easy Pass, it is what it is. But like I said, now, guys, with I'm talking like on the PA Turnpike, I don't think they give you the option of paying in cash anymore. So like, I think now, if you don't have an Easy Pass, they mail it. I think they send you something in the mail for you to pay. But like, I always had Easy Pass because, like I said, I just like, I like ripping and going. I really don't like waiting. But yeah, guys, like I said, but what I'm about to do, like I mentioned earlier, I got a job I got to do tomorrow. Technically it's a drive-in cleaning, but like I think we replaced the filters. Did we do the filters? I think we did the filters there last fall. So I think because I think she got 2-inch filters. I think they got like 6 of them inside that rooftop unit. I don't think we'll have to replace the filters now. I think they can probably get by until the fall. But like I said, I'm gonna be on that roof anyway tomorrow. But while I'm there, I'll look at the filters, and like I said, if they need to get replaced, I think they got a supply house maybe a few blocks away. But I think tomorrow, if the weather is like I said, if the weather heats up, I could just do the AC maintenance while I'm there as well, so we don't have to go back there. But either way, guys, like I said, you'll see that when I shoot out there tomorrow. But in the meantime, guys, I just want to get on here and yap. Y'all know the routine. But keep rocking and rolling, and be on the lookout next week for whatever jobs I run into, and I will see y'all on the next one.